HTML5 only really adds two new elements when it comes to navigation, those being the nav and the menu, with menu items being attached to the menu element. For the nav element, it's very similar to just a span element when it first gets constructed, in the sense that you just add a load of links to pages that you want to link to. And you'll notice that I'm actually using Firefox for this demonstration, and that will become clear later on. But for now you can see that the elements that we've added have all basically been shown on the nav page as we would expect. We could separate them out slightly for more clarity, but the functionality is almost identical to including them within a span. Now, the menu item is actually only currently functional within Firefox, which is why I'm using Firefox for this demonstration. So to show you how it works, I'm first going to create a main element. I'm just going to add a border onto this as well. And I'm going to add a context menu, which we're going to call custom dropdown. So this is where your application would actually go. If you were creating something like Google Calendars, for example, you would want to maybe add a drop-down menu, and you would obviously include the main application within the main tag. But when it comes to adding the menu, you just need to type menu and then type equals context. And the ID is going to be custom dropdown again. We then add a new menu element, and we could add a label tag to this one, and we're going to call this one new. Inside of this element we're going to create another menu item. So we're going to create menu item, and this one's going to have a label. Window. Then we're going to add an on-click element, or rather an on-click attribute to this. And we're going to just type window.open. After this new menu, we're going to just add a menu item here. And we're going to add an on-click event. So these on-click elements would just be any JavaScript element or any JavaScript function that you wanted to call when you selected this function from the menu. So if we jump back across to Firefox now and we refresh, you can see that we have this square where our main application is actually going to be. So as I say, if we were recreating Google Calendar, for example, this would be all of the calendar days. We can right click now and we've got our new menu options. If we right click outside of our application, however, we don't have these options, and so we've got the ability now to actually amend and adjust the right-click context menu. So again, if we were recreating Google Calendar, you could create a new event, a new appointment, a new contact, but you could also create options to do a lot more within your application. Unfortunately, at the time of creating this video, the right-click context menu is actually only supported within Firefox. The other major browsers are intending to implement this, but the support that you would like before implementing this is not currently in place. In the next section, we're going to start looking at how different elements can be used within different contexts. So for example, which elements will be used within a newsfeed on a page. And then later on we're going to look at how different form input fields are used, as well as different images, etc. So stay tuned for all of those. And this is where a product which has been selected to be heavily advertised will be displayed.